My fellow beautiful South Africans, in today's video, I want us to react to something very, very interesting. Let's get straight to it.
To be honest, I'm not surprised that South Africans have a problem with Zimbabweans. See, I'm not surprised that South Africans harbor resentment for Zimbabweans. You see, people.
Right off the bat, I can already tell where this video is going. These are those types of people that like to play victim, that like to just portray South Africans negatively, saying we harbor resentment. We don't harbor resentment to anyone as South Africans, or let me say, we don't harbor resentment for anyone here in South Africa. It doesn't matter whether you come from Zimbabwe, it doesn't matter whether you come from Nigeria, whether you come from Congo, whether you come from America. We do not harbor resentment. What we do is we have hate towards illegal activity. We don't harbor resentment. If you are going to say we are harboring resentment, it simply means you mean we resent everyone here in South Africa. When that is not the case, the people who come here with documents in South Africa, we don't resent those people. The only people that we resent is these criminals who are busy doing all these nasty things here in South Africa. So right off the bat, I can already tell where this video is going. But then let's continue and hear what this young man right here is trying to say.
Let me invite you to South Africa. Now, let me invite you to South Africa, dog. The white man's project in Africa. Let me tell you something about white people now and Zimbabwe. You see, when Zimbabwe was claiming their independence from these colonial powers, when Zimbabwe was taking back their land, do you know who was shaking in their boots? Do you know who was really upset about the advancements that the Zimbabweans were making? White South Africans. Apartheid government South Africa had a problem with Zimbabwe. And they made it a mission to destabilize Zimbabwe, dog, and to paint the image of Zimbabweans, to paint it awful in the eyes of us as regular South Africans.
So basically, it's our fault as South Africa that Zimbabwe is what it is today. This man is trying to say the white people of South Africa are the reason why Zimbabwe is what it is today. As I'm listening to him like this, well, we can say that when Zimbabwe was chasing away white people in Zimbabwe, that thing obviously scared the apartheid government here in South Africa. I mean, why wouldn't they be scared? Because in their minds, they would think, okay, since the Zimbabweans are taking their power next door, maybe that thing will come to South Africa too. So obviously, maybe they were scared. But to say they went on to sabotage Zimbabwe, actually blaming them for what Zimbabwe is today, I think that's a bit delusional. I really think that's a bit delusional. So, this thing of apartheid, people, is really starting to get on my nerves, honestly. Because it seems as if whenever everyone wants to defend nonsense here in South Africa, it's going to bring up the thing of apartheid and white people here in South Africa. People, if we are not going to focus on the future and we are going to be trapped in this apartheid past, nothing is going to change here in South Africa. There's a lot of things that the apartheid government did wrong. And there's a lot of things that they did right. But the fact will always remain that it was a nasty government that hated black people. We can't ignore that fact. But then presently, we are no longer inside that reality. And we need to take decisions that make sense right now. This thing of telling us about the reasons that no, this apartheid government, this, telling us about everything that happened in the past instead of focusing on the future, that thing is really starting to piss me off, So, but let's continue.
I'm not surprised that when South Africans think about Zimbabweans, they just think of problems. These people who are coming here to cause problems in our country. Because if you think about apartheid and you think about Zimbabwe, them taking back their land, what would have been the biggest threat to apartheid then? A neighboring country governed by black people who say we're taking back our land. We are not going to stand for this. We are going to fight for what is ours. It's easy. It's easy how that influence could have spread to South Africa.
Obviously.
And us as South Africans, we would have done the same thing. But no, that's not what white South Africans wanted. They knew it had to be stopped. Whatever plans they had, whatever missions they had, it had to be stopped. And how do you do that? Propaganda, man. Propaganda. You turn the what is it? The social, the perception of this person, of this country, of these people. You change it. You change how they are perceived by ordinary South Africans. You change that, and you have defeated them. We will never take what Zimbabweans say as Khoremana. This is good. We should do this.
You know what I find strange about what he's saying? You know, he's speaking in a sense as if South Africans have been having a problem with Zimbabweans for all these years. You know, he's making it seem as if South Africans have always had a problem with Zimbabweans, when the truth is, South Africans have been sheltering Zimbabweans here for a long time. Up until a point where they couldn't shelter them anymore. This is the point that we are at right now. Because of the things that they are doing here in South Africa, because of their crimes. It's only now that South Africans are fighting so intensely with illegal foreigners. But all of these years, South Africans have been patient, have been tolerating all these nasty things that are happening here in South Africa. So for this young man right here to say South Africans basically who have been brainwashed into hating Zimbabweans, I think that's just delusional. Because if we were brainwashed, we would have never tolerated any Zimbabweans here in South Africa in the first place. And that's the truth. But the fact that we've been tolerating all these years, up to this point now where we are tired, clearly shows that it's not brainwashing. South Africans are just heartful. And it's as simple as that. You know, this young man right here seems like he's still in some sort of college. As I'm watching this video with you, he seems like he's still in college and he sounds like a South African. You know, he looks like a South African. In fact, he's South African. I don't know, but to me, he seems South African. You know, I just hope when he's done with his studies, he will not experience what many graduates here in South Africa are experiencing right now, the unemployment. You know, because the day he fails to get a job because positions have been occupied by illegal foreigners, those very Zimbabweans that he's defending, that day he will understand why South Africans were fighting against Zimbabweans, I'm telling you. So that is why I'm saying I just hope that, you know, he completes his studies and then he goes on to get a job and live a good life. You know, but if it happens that he can't get a job because positions have been occupied by people without documents, that day he will understand why we are fighting so much as South Africans. That day he will understand why we are saying illegal foreigners are taking our jobs here in South Africa. Because right now, he is not on the job market, you know. Right now, he's still in college. So, but let's continue.
Let alone to try to oppose white people in South Africa. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Black South Africans have a problem with Zimbabweans. Black South Africans are just taking after their masters. Black South Africans are just taking after their masters.
You know, this argument is starting to get old right now. This thing of the masters. People, we don't have masters here in South Africa. Us as black people, all these things that we are doing right now, chasing away illegal foreigners, we are doing that because we want to do it. We are doing that because we are protecting South Africa. There is no masters of us as black people here in South Africa, and all these people who want to defend criminality here in South Africa always go to this point of the masters. This thing of saying we are controlled by white people as black people, as if when we are busy chasing away people, there is white people who are telling us. They act as if white people are the only ones who are concerned about South Africa. Us as black people, we are also concerned about South Africa. We don't need white people to tell us how to clean up South Africa. We know how to clean up South Africa, and that is what we are trying to do right now, because we love our rainbow nation. It doesn't matter whether these people think we follow white people or white people are our masters, but as long as we know as South Africans that there's nothing like that that's happening here in South Africa, that's all that matters. But this is just a point that is always used by people who defend criminal activity. I mean, it's getting old. What masters? What masters, people? Hey.
Same thing where we have now black South Africans having a problem with other darker complexioned Africans.
We don't have a problem with other darker complexion Africans or people. We have a problem with illegal activity in South Africa. It's as simple as that.
It's just them trying to be white. They wish they were white. They wish they were white. Let's call a spade a spade a spade a spade. They're just trying to be white. They wish they were white. It's never gonna happen. You need to snap out of your little fantasy, bro. You gonna bleach your skin until the day you die. You'll still be black, motherfucker. Remember that.
This is
That's
funny,
where the hate
people.
for
This is
Zimbabweans
really,
come
really
from.
funny. But then, please tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about everything that this man is talking about right now? Do you think we are controlled by white people here in South Africa? They are the ones who are telling us to chase away Zimbabweans and things like that. I would really like to hear, what do you think about what this young man is saying and everything that I've been saying in this video. I would really appreciate to hear your own thoughts and opinions on the comment section down below. But then if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel, and this is Mzansi University, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.